Good. Okay. So how are you guys doing this? Essentially, it's about as basic a layout as you get. Like the main thoroughfare that through this industrial section is kind of like not as populated, but it's definitely still like a lot more workers than the previous traffic. It's less foot traffic total, but there's still plenty of people walking back and forth. Essentially, just so you get the kind of layout, I'll just kind of like draw the approach that you guys have. So the main thoroughfare is kind of like this. The odd alleyways going through. And just as kind of like an indicator, you guys are coming from this direction here, just for visual on the map. It's like basically like a cross intersection essentially, and there's two alleyways, one opposite of each other, and it's this side that the readout indicates where that meeting is supposed to take place.
Okay, I want to try and look around and see if I can find a way for access to the rooftop on that corner right there.
Go ahead and perception.
Okay.
Yeah, more just kind of like a way to get up.
Perception, that is a 17.
You see probably a good way to get up there. It's not, it's not like, top of the buildings and then just like huge amounts of space. But I mean, it's like, there's enough space there between like the next block above on the spike that, there's a little bit of a gap up there that you could probably look down at the alley on.
I meander to that corner that I saw Ted at. And what is around this alleyway? What's down this alleyway?
I mean, are you just walking up there? I mean, like I said, there's foot traffic going. There's like at this point all the kind of like ships kind of going. Like the occasional like vehicle is like practically like 10 feet above you. So
Okay.
It's like somewhere between like street level and the tops of the buildings essentially.
So I'm just wanting to walk to this corner.
Okay, and you're trying to do this just stealthily, or?
I'm walking along with the people. I'm going with the flow.
Okay, not trying to stand out. Okay.
Nonchalant. Yep.
All right. Go ahead and get that corner perception check.
Okay.
'Cause if you're stopping, then it might be a little bit noticeable.
I want to look both ways before I cross.
Yeah, that's what we do. We look left to right, left to right.
19. Oh my god. Perception. 25.
You see about 2 or 3 figures in the alleyway. It's kind of like lower light area in there, but they seem to be kind of like working on some like side access panels that seem to be on the sides of the buildings.
I'm looking for structures. Anything down there? Is this vacant?
It's just kind of a kind of short, thin alleyway that ends, on a building that's kind of like sealed up on the other side, and nothing really.
Okay.
No structures in there besides, like I said, the side panels that those guys seem to be working on. Like I said, 3 figures.
Okay.
Down that one?
Down that one.
Okay.
Well, no, to the side,
Gotcha.
like the opposite
Gotcha.
side of the meeting place.
Okay.
On the left, on the meeting place side, as you kind of like glance to your right, and you see those 3 figures.
Mhm.
You glance to the left, and you see what appears to be about 4 in the alleyway. They seem to be kind of all doing the same thing.
Okay. That's all I'm gonna do for now.
All right, so you just keep on walking.
Yeah. Well, I guess for that I'll just be circumventing this thoroughfare. I'll just be doing this,
I don't see what. Oh, okay.
going in a circle around the whole thing,
Just continuous loop.
as slow as I can, but keeping with the group of people walking.
I mean, you certainly can. Just as a note,
Mhm.
people that are walking seem to be, continuously walking. So it's,
That's what I'm
little
gonna be doing.
odd to see somebody just kind of like, looping back and forth in this short area. But
Well,
it's up to you.
would that take like more than, I don't know?
No. I mean,
Everybody
like,
else doing it?
Everybody is just kind of like milling about. But
Yeah.
I'm just saying, that's what it just looks like. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna tap into the comms for everybody. Just start laying out a plan here.
All right. If you can get up there, Zedix, I think I see a good spot for you, right up top above where you are.
Just so you're aware, I don't know. The alleyways. There's 4 down by the meeting spot you guys are going to be going to, and 3 down the other way. They're working on something right now.
Gotcha. Well, it'd be good to have you covering this meet just in case things go south.
Gotcha.
Soren, I'll want you to post up near where Zedix is and have line of sight on that alleyway where Stretch is going down.
Roger that.
If you see anything amiss start happening, just get in there and get nasty. Obviously, Skadad, do your thing. Find out what you can. Get out of there alive.
Always do.
I'll have Buzz ready to go for aerial support, and I'll be back here as well. But Zedix, if you can keep them covered from a distance, I think we might have a good hold on this thing. Now, I'm going to set a code word. If anybody hears Soren say this code word, it's going down, all right? Try and work it in as
What's
smoothly
the
as you
code
can. Code word's going to be warp.
Warp?
So if you can work that in somehow, let us know. Yeah.
Okay, you said
That's-
Soren initially, so I was confused. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I mean, I could yell it.
Warp.
If I see
If
something.
Skada,
Warp?
if
Yes.
Skada
Yes.
says warp,
Okay.
we know to take action.
Okay.
Got it, Buzz?
Oh yeah, sure thing, boss. I'll keep it high and tight. I got my eyes open and my arms ready.
Keep in your sights the whole time. I want you to be ready before we gotta go down.
Oh, don't worry, boss. I'm always on it.
As you were.
Mm-hmm. And he kind of floats up. And I mean, a lot of the more kind of like higher traffic is, you do see the occasional drone kind of putter by.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, he's not out of the ordinary either. So
He's extraordinary.
so what are you guys all setting up at? As
Okay.
far as like for visuals. For
So
privacy?
I'm gonna just move myself to where I am. Do you want to try and get up there, Tyler? Because I mean, if you're up here, then you can snipe down that way, where it's gonna be happening. And I was thinking that I would be like over here or over here, and then we would have Sean down here to go in there. Or I'll swap with him and he can be like closer to the action. So that
Get
way,
him closer to the action.
yeah. So that way, if
Pistol and
Rod
sword.
shows down here and things start going in, he can just go around the corner. I can start getting a shot from here. You can get a shot from there, and then I'll also be able to go this way if anything should.
Yep, I'm going to be posted up where I saw Tet go, and I'm going stealth.
All right, so go ahead and make a stealth check. You guys are climbing up, or
I'm not going up there.
You're not going up.
I just
Okay.
pointed it out to him.
Are you climbing up to the top of that building?
What other way is there to go up?
I mean, he kind of indicated like with his like look before and yours. There's probably a good way to get up there. It's a little difficult to be not seen, but you could probably do it pretty quickly if you're quick and you're quiet.
Then I'll be doing that.
All right. So what you get for yourself?
16.
16. All right. And what'd you get for? We'll have you do an athletics.
Athletics.
18.
Nice.
Senor Cara de Papa.
Senor.
You
Mr.
turn.
Potatoes.
You turn one direction, kind of like just scoping out where Buzz is up in the air, and you turn back around. Zedix is nowhere to be seen. You kind of hear the slight kind of like of like kind of metal, and you kind of look up and you see the foot of Zedix kind of like flip
Yep.
over.
I take note of that as I am coming to know this guy, and I'm just taking note of his skills and what he's able to do in the moment here. So it's a good sign. I'm liking it.
All right. And don't take these at face value, like for where
No,
they're at.
no,
These guys are
absolutely.
just essentially like just to give you an indication of like variance in who they are.
Mhm. And where they are.
Yeah, where they are mostly. So
Guys, this is awesome. Can I just say that? We're having such good space adventures. This is fantastic.
Yes.
So far, so good. I'm having fun.
We're finally we're not just We're not just reacting. We are planning. We are a crew.
Missed
Look,
it.
you wasted
Missed
it.
opportunity.
You wasted it.
Nope, it'll be there again.
No.
Nope.
That was a nat 20 from Soren. It's not going to get another one this game.
didn't see it,
Just
so
watch
You're just
me.
idly rolling. You're wasting your rolls over there.
That's not how luck works.
Yes, it totally is.
So, yeah, that's roughly about 30 feet up. So, I'll have you platformed up there at the top. So, just kind of a vertical indicator. And for your little dude, since he is a little easier to kind of accommodate, we'll say he's about the same height. Just have
That works.
right there.
There he is.
Well, there he goes.
Please out.
Drop them. Okay, good. All right, and lastly, what are you doing, Sean? Sorry, Soren.
I'm just gonna lean up against this side of this corner of the alley and just pretend I'm looking at mail
Bluff
or
check.
messages.
The info net, just surfing the
This
info
is a
net.
bluff check.
Bluff check.
Yep.
Buff check.
Hope your charisma.
Buff check. Just
I got a plus 4 charisma.
Hey, that's good. That's good.
14.
Not bad. It's not bad. Could have been worse, for sure.
14 total.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So, you guys are all in place.
Yes.
All right.
And I've just taken a seat on the nearest pile of refuse or whatever.
Yeah.
And I've just taken whatever little bundle is out of my cheek and just fidgeting with more tech scrap.
There's various Hisoki wandering around, and they're all, you do blend in also just from a height perspective, but also, just the traffic. So you are definitely, you're there.
Mhm. I am there.
So, but I will still have you do a stealth check.
Okay.
Just as kind
Yeah.
of like a general rule.
We are in it, boys. Shouldn't have used that D20. That's a 7. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. You're just, thumbing with wires. So, Skada,
What's up, dude?
checking your communicator for
Yeah, dude.
last minute advice.
Prepping. Prepping for my napping.
Yeah. That's
What's the point?
fine.
I
Nothing.
was ready, dude.
All right.
I'm just ready to get in.
All right. So you kind of like step. How do you approach this?
Rather smoothly.
Okay.
Not nonchalant. Like there's some respect there, but there's definitely accidentally caressed Sean's knee right there.
You see Soren and he just kind of touches knee before you go to the alley.
Just a slight little brush.
That's a Lashunta luck touch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shoot the luck touch.
That's what they.
I am incredibly uncomfortable now.
But yeah, with purpose, I walk forward.
So you kind of walking with kind of the flow of traffic. You have your hat on, and it's kind of like that shot from the back where you have this camera passes through like this steam cloud, and
Yeah.
it shows you kind of your very distinguished hat, and the other kind of traffic kind of like walking, all of them kind of down.
Walking towards the hoodies.
You have your head kind of straight forward with purpose, like
Yes.
you said. And as you kind of like turn, you get to the alleyway and you kind of like take a step, half step to the left, and you kind of like turn on your heel and you kind of give your coat a little kind of like flip as you kind of walk in. You have your hands kind of in your pockets and you're kind of like walking down the alleyway. You see like, kind of the sparks kind of shooting from the guys working. You see two Vesk on the side. Kind of like they all seem to be kind of like we'll say like space welding stuff. Then you see holy shit, I can't remember the names of all the races. Shame on me. The forearm guys. Those
Goros.
The dongos.
the dongos. No.
I thought the dog was only at 2 limbs.
The dongos?
No.
It depends.
The
Varies from game to
you
game.
see a Kasathas seems to be
That's
working on a
Kasathas.
console. All of them kind of give you like side glances, but they don't say anything. And you see one kind of like larger, even for Vesk terms, guy sitting in the back, and he is, kind of like wrenching on what appears to be like a large kind of like pipe structure, and he seems to be working on it pretty heavily. And you don't see any indicator of either four of them kind of like turning to greet you.
I'll clear my throat. Just excuse me, fellas. I'm looking for a Sobak Faresh Mathel Amandi.
You see the one in the back kind of, crack his neck. That was actually my neck. Holy shit.
That was perfect.
But
My neck
that was
exploded.
impeccable.
That was
you see his shoulders roll as he kind of like takes basically this like oversized wrench, like throws it on his shoulder, and he kind of turns around, and you kind of like, see his feet, his footsteps kind of like, they are like purposeful, like striding up to you, and he kind of, what do you want with him?
I have a question to ask. How have things been going lately in the wild?
He like looks at you, eyes you up and down. Free and clear.
Alright. Second question. Or would you like me to return that message to the man who sent me?
He kind of looks at you like, and who was it exactly that sent you?
Fuck, what was his name? Oh, shit.
You didn't ask his name.
I didn't. Let's shoot a man like myself. Scar on the side of his face.
He kind of looks at you. Are you sure you're in the place you should be in right now?
This is where he told me to be.
I want you to make a diplomacy check.
Boy.
I was not trying to get in real nice with that radio voice, but
Oh yeah, that was right on.
Me or Brush?
no, not you.
I was like, back around the corner.
Um,
Hey, wait a minute, guys.
26.
Thank the space gods. Let's hope this is not a
He kind of
man of words.
looks you up and down. He like leans in a little too uncomfortably close. Gives you like a sniff.
Yep.
As he's leaning in, he kind of looks over your shoulder,
Yep.
and you can tell he's looking the direction of you, Soren. And he kind of also casts a look across the street at you, Tet. You don't stink like government. You certainly don't dress like the police. So, he kind of like leans back, and he like walks to the edge of the alleyway where he was at, and he goes back to kind of working. What brings you to working here, and what exactly is it that you think you can do?
Our scarred-faced friend that I was talking about earlier told me, since I'm looking for some work, he told me he might know something. And gave me
Thresh. His name is Thresh.
Wow.
I think you should show some respect to those that give you opportunity. And you hear like a really loud groan as he kind of like turns this overly large kind of like piece of pipe, and you can see like the like grip that he has on the tool tighten, and you can hear kind of the slight groaning of the metal.
Yeah. Oh, my sincerest apologies. Stupid me forgot to get his name before I left.
He kind of turns back around, and the other two Vesk seem to kind of like turn in place as well, and now they're looking at you. The Kasathis is still just kind of like working, but he is kind of giving you like a sideways glance. And the Vesk, he moves back up. A namesake is as important as a man's soul. You feel that you can slight someone in such a way, even one that gives you some sort of opportunity. It is not something that should be taken lightly.
Oh, that was not my purpose. I just got so caught up in this opportunity being dropped at my feet that I just I wasn't thinking.
I need you to roll another diplomacy check. Just as kind of a reference, Vesk are very easy to offend.
Apparently. 25.
He looks at you. The other two Vesk kind of look to him, and again, they are as kind of like tall as you, far more muscular, and this guy is muscular than they are. And the Kasathis finally puts down his tools and he kind of turns around and he folds both sets of arms and he's just kind of leaning against the wall. And he kind of looks at you, looks at the Vesk. Boss, cut the guy some slack. He seems like he's more capable with his hands than he is with his mouth.
Oh, thank you. Yes,
The guy just kind of like looks at you and just he's shooting you a death stare. And he like kind of cuts you off short.
And I just stopped.
Don't take the rest of us being silent as us being bored. This is just us like the tension and the excitement. It's so palpable. It's so palpable.
So the guy kind of like sets the wrench down, and he's kind of leaning on it now as it's like against the ground. It probably comes up to about your hip.
Yeah, it's a hefty
which
boy.
is a pretty large implement.
It's a hefty boy. Yep.
Well, as it stands, we could use some outside help.
All right. I'm open. What do you have me do?
Seems that the group is getting a little too big for their own. What is the term that the humans use? Britches.
Britches. Yeah. I think I've heard that. I got it. Yeah. Well.
They've been muscling in on some corporation's territory over in Pipetown. They've asked through back channels that they be taught a lesson, removed if so felt, and we've been looking for some assistance. Not connected, but we're here for providing the assistance. We're not here to
To
do
the
ourselves.
corporation.
Yes.
All right. I mean, just give me time and place, and I can be there.
And he kind of leans to the side again. Are they with you? I don't like the looks of them just staring. Things make me nervous. And he kind of like rolls the wrench kind of on his back and he's kind of holding it like, kind of like stretched across the nape of his neck.
Alright.
Unless they seem to be lost, we could help them find their way.
I know. Well,
And you see him kind of like, motion, and you notice perception check really quick.
yeah.
From all of you, if you mind.
Oh.
Wow.
25.
Oh, good.
Nat 20, 25.
Okay.
Natural 20? Nice. I have an 18.
18?
I got a 9.
10.
10. You notice, you've been kind of like, you've got your thing kind of scoped in, which, you notice that he indicates to the two on street level. You notice him kind of lean, and you don't see where he's kind of motioning. You're, not wanting to kind of like lose focus of the situation.
No.
You are trying your best to show that you're like, just a guy hanging out.
I do too good of a job at it.
I
don't even know.
You're a little oblivious,
Yeah.
but you, Tet, do hear kind of like, footsteps as kind of these 3 that were in the alley behind you now kind of are like, they're not, moving very like purposefully, but they seem to have garnered the attention. You notice this as well, definitely, Skada, that as you kind of like look over your shoulder, you do notice that the 3 groups are kind of like, they're like moving very slowly, but they definitely seem to be kind of like purposefully moving. He kind of leans back in, and now he is right up in your face. And this guy is, at eye level with you.
As I hear them come up, like behind me, I'm just gonna start doing this thing that I picked up in the shop back on Akaton from this, race that came through. They were doing this thing that I thought was really cool, so I'm just gonna start doing it to myself while I'm fiddling, just like back again.
Oh, just kind of like that,
They're just doing this cool thing, and I picked it up.
Everybody's doing it.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Yeah, exactly. He's just kind of a low
Just
kind of
whistling
like
and
hum.
humming at the same time.
And you do hear kind of like through kind of the alley, just the slow,
I can't do it. I can't do it.
of
Practice.
3 distinct sets of footsteps.
Okay.
Over the slow kind of hiss and hum and drum of the traffic.
SpongeBob.
So again, he looks at you, and his stare is piercing. You see now this guy being that close, his scaled facade is marked heavily. You notice that there are signs of this is definitely not someone who's gotten these scars from fixing pipes.
It's like, do I go with the choice of fucking?
We're not there.
No, I know. I'm not. This is a hypothetical.
But you gotta make a decision. You can't just
know.
stand there in front of him with your
I
mouth
know.
open, like.
I know. I'm just thinking.
We have a timer out.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
This is not something that you have time to formulate on.
Either you tell him who they are, or
All right.
And the bottom set
So-
of arms of the Kasathas have now kind of like gone to its sides, and you notice now poking out of its uniform is what appears to be the butt of a pistol.
Of who are you speaking? Hey, go on then.
So you don't know them.
Who? What am I looking for here?
And he kind of like nods, and you hear the footsteps now of somebody kind of walking up right next to you, Ted, and you feel a slight tap on your shoulder, and it's a Kasatha standing above you, and he's got a tool kind of like belt kind of like strapped over his shoulder, and he's got his top arms crossed, and he's got his one opposite arm, kind of on his hip, and he's now like got his hand, he tapped, and then he's got his arm, like his hand firmly touched on your shoulder, and he's like, "You seem lost, friend."
I'm gonna look up and just in Isoki just ask him like, what? What was that?
He kind of like looks back, and you see, 2 other figures kind of behind him. It's a little hard because he's kind of like leaning up. He's like half leaning up against the corner, but you definitely know that there's 2 figures there, and he kind of, he's definitely lost. Come with me. I'm sure I could guide you on where you need to go.
And I'm just gonna start unending in a diatribe, speaking as much and as fast as I can in Isoki, just like chatter, like just nonstop
All right.
and loudly and.
Diplomacy check. Just, for funsies. Just because I don't know like, what sort of check we might be needing in that situation, but...
Oh boy, that's a 3. Rolled a 5 and I have diplomacy of -2. It's honestly, it was more of just like, I'm going to do this and whatever happens, happens. It's just, this is
that's
my
how you
action.
roll.
Yeah.
That's how you roll, man.
All right. So the Kasathas kind of like he kind of like, you feel his grip kind of tighten on your shoulder, and he's like, no,
I'm not resisting or anything. I'm
right,
just
right, and he's kind of tightening his grip a little bit, and he's just like, no, don't worry about it, friend. I'll help you. You know, come on. We'll get you sorted out in the right location. And he kind of like starts putting a little bit more pressure on you to kind of stand up.
I'm going with him. I'm following.
All right.
I'll text Buzz on my communicator. I'm gonna text Buzz, follow.
Right.
And
you see him starting to go down actually the opposite way that you guys came from. And you are you keeping a lookout for this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You do notice that he gets up. And
boss.
now the other two figures,
Buzz down.
one of them starts, following Sheeran, and then Lashunta starts kind of walking across the street, and you see her kind of post up next to the opposite side of the alleyway from you, and you see Soren. She kind of looks over. She gives you a slight wink. And she just kind of looks up,
Very
just kind of
cute.
like standing. Again, just like
You blush.
arms crossed.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry. This is the Vesk now talking to you,
Yep.
Skada. If they're not with you, we can make sure that you're not followed. You seem to be a little distracted at the moment.
Well, I mean, I think I can shake them. You don't need to worry about it.
Diplomacy check.
I'm continuing to speak to the person that has his hand on me, not as frantically, but I'm basically pointing to what I'm doing as if I'm explaining to him. But in Zisoki, I'm just saying like, and I could easily make this into a bomb, but I'm not going to because I don't have the things with me. But I would blow you to bits and just like.
Non-natural 20.
And the guy keeps nodding at you like, yeah, sure. And he kind of like, nudges you a little bit forward still. Non-natural 20. You feel like you can take care of them yourself? I mean, it seems pretty obvious that they were with you when you first entered into the district.
I mean, I noticed that little rat guy, but I just thought it was kind of weird. Just a little rat face.
He kind of, you see him get really close.
Yeah.
He's now like within a foot of your face, and he's kind of leaning in. And, the Vesk now have kind of flanked you as well. It's getting real tight in this alleyway.
It's cool. Not claustrophobic.
And he just kind of, leaves them for the time being. We'll
Alright.
see how they follow you if they do. And they're not with you, as you say. Well, that'll be dealt with when the time comes, I guess.
As it
And
should be.
And he kind of like flashes a very kind of wry sideways grin, and you see these jagged, very kind of like vicious looking teeth. It's a little gnarly looking, but he gives you one kind of like last kind of up down look. The information will be sent to your pad, and don't worry, we'll be watching. And he kind of pushes by, and he kind of gives one quick kind of like flick of the wrist, and you see those three all kind of leave in unison. All three of them come out of the alleyway. The main one doesn't even look at you, Soren. The Kasathis kind of like glances to the side. The other two Vesk look directly at you, and then they all turn, and they're heading this direction, the way you guys came from. The Sheeran that was following, and the Kasathis directly behind you, he kind of taps the Kasathis on the shoulder, and he looks down at you, and he's like, well, seems like you might be able to find your way after all. And he kind of turns to walk away, and he kind of stops, and he's like, oh, you wouldn't have been able to make it before. You would have been put down, but good try, little man. And he kind of keeps on walking.
Give him a wave.
As kind of like the very last to leave, the Lashuntis on the corner kind of like, steps up. She kind of looks back into the alleyway where you are, Skada. She gives you just a little, kind of another wink to you, and she's, sends, telepathically. She's like, "See you later, big man." And and then they all seem to kind of like blend in and then subsequently disappear into the crowd. You hear just kind of an the ambient noises, and then after like a split second you just hear kind of coming over the comms. He's like, "Wow, that was tense."
Yeah, standing orders are just, put them in the holsters, except for if Skada pulls anything stupid like that again, please shoot him.
Hey, I don't know what you're talking about. That worked out A-okay.
How'd that go?
I'm just gonna walk up to him and pull him down by the scruff of his shirt and just give him just a slap.
Hey, they spotted you guys.
Yeah, but sometimes you keep your mouth shut.
It was either.
Do you rejoin them?
I'm gonna
either
stay where
give
I'm
you up,
right now, but I can
or
telepathically
just like
do
keep
it.
rolling with it.
Or, when you give a passphrase and you get the answer back, you say, "Okay, goodbye," and you walk away.
Yeah.
Instead of asking, "What do I do now?"
I was curious.
Oh.
So did you find out what we needed to find out? Did we get paid?
And at that moment, you hear a slight kind of ding on your data pad. They never exchanged information, but you see now that there's a message. Doesn't say who the sender's from, but you just see a visual indicator of a location in Pipetown, and
You should share that with us.
Yeah.
Okay, I look on my wrist.
It gives you information, and it's the Thresh gang.
Thresh.
That we're trying to stop.
That's all. All it says is just Thresh gang.
That's who they were.
No, that was the name of the dude that gave me the job.
Thresh was the
Thresh?
name.
Thresh
Thresh.
gave you
Thresh.
the job.
Thresh gang
Okay.
is the only message that appears in
Okay.
there.
Yeah.
So anyway, this job. Apparently, that's just. We got another job.
Do we get paid for this one?
Yes.
Who do we talk to about that?
The stuff I just sent you is all the info I have.
Let's go back to where you got this job in the first place.
Yeah, I should probably complete the first job that I took.
What did he tell you?
So they're doing jobs. They're teamed up with the corporations that kind of run my planet.
Just as an indicator, while he was having that conversation, your guys' comms, you didn't hear anything.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
So
How'd you start the conversation?
I told him I was. I asked for the guy by name.
What's his name?
Sobak Faresh Mathel Amandi.
What did you say then?
Then I told him I was sent there to ask him a question.
Okay, what was the question?
It was, how have things been going lately in the wild?
Did you get a response from this person?
Yes.
What'd they say?
Free and clear.
Okay, we're gonna go back to where you got this message to go visit this man, and we're gonna say that to whoever gave you this.
Yeah.
This job.
Which job?
First one.
His name's Thresh, apparently.
Hey, here's an idea.
What's up?
Ringing any
Next
bells?
time, I'm gonna do the talking and you're gonna do the planning.
Hey. We're still here, aren't we?
I didn't say anything. I'm just throwing out a brand new idea. I'm brainstorming here. Hot off the press.
Alright.
All right, so we will close the session this time with you guys returning to Drift's End. Yeah, that's what we'll pick up next time.
Nice.
Cool. Thanks.
Really cool.